right into chapters of 16 through 18 of Love Hypothesis, and OMG! It has definitely got a lot more spicier. Doesn't sound right. We're gonna go with it. Okay, so. Oh my goodness. Or if I have a mother. Oh my stars. But before we get started, let's introduce myself. If you're new here, hi, I'm Bell, and I'm reading Love Prophecy for the very first time, and I wanted to bring you along that journey. And I just lost for words, you could say, but what to say about what happened next. Starts the Devil's Tango, and of course, Adam being Adam, he's very attentive to her, and he's like, wait, you really haven't done this, have you? And she's like, yeah, I have, I've done things. And he's like, no, let's go a different route. So then they do like more things to like loosen everything, basically. And it was awkward, but also like, this is so sweet. The way he just like took care of her. And the whole time she's like, but I was the one who told you I want to do this. I'm supposed to take care of you. And she's no, you told me what I should. You told me to take care, to do what I want to do. This is what I want to do. So that takes up the whole chapter of 16, and they have this magical night, or at least magical to Olive, as she describes it, that he is took care of her after the worst day of her life because Tom, and he comes back to the picture, of course he does, because he's we digress. This is not Tom's story. This is Olive and Adam's story. So they finally are done, and really nice and considerate in like asking for consent for every little thing, and I'm like, this is so cute. I love it. So then they finally finish, and they have another little cute little conversation time where they talk about how each one has a little tiny scar from childhood, and they talk about how they got those scars, and then he talked about how his parents were basically married to the job and not each other, especially not to him, so his au pairs were all Dutch, so he knows Dutch, and he actually thought in Dutch for the first 9 years of his life. So yeah, they're talking about all that, how he's like, yeah, I basically became my parents, I'm also married to my job, and she's like, no, you're not like them. And Olive's story about how she got her scar, and she basically thought she was falling into a pile of snow, and she ended up like hitting like a rock or something, and that's like her mom's one of her favorite stories of Olive. And he was like, yeah, I hate the cold, but I miss the snow. And he goes, well, there'll be snow in Boston. I'm like, and she knows in her head she's not going to Boston. She can't go to Boston to work underneath somebody like Tom. She not worked her ass off to work under somebody like Tom to take all the credit from. But he didn't know that yet. So they're cuddling, and he's like, yeah, I'm about to go do an interview to possibly move to Harvard too, so we can I can show you around, and you can just, it sounds perfect, doesn't it? It's had this great night of intense intimacy in all factors of the word, and I think after that, finding out they're both moving to the same town, like they're both going to Harvard, that it would be perfect, right? But she's like, I'm going to enjoy this night because it's going to be our last. And she didn't tell him that yet. So basically, that's. So the next day, I wasn't woken up by Adam leaving or housekeeping, because probably Adam put the stove sign on, her phone blowing up. And it was blowing up so much she thought it was a phone call, but actually it's just notifications of her best friend giving her a million texts, like, where are you? Are you dead? Like, what's happening? And finally she goes, like, here's my room number. Come see me, because you won't leave me alone. You say you have to see me in person, so here's my room number. And not even 5 minutes later, both her best friend and Malcolm are in her room, and she's half asleep because she just woke up. And she's all sore. She's trying to not think about what happened last night, because she feels like an idiot, because she's like, everything involved with Adam and Tom, and how she knows what she has to do, which is break up with him, but she didn't want to do that. But she's trying to forget all that so she can find out what's happening to her friends. And her friends are like, oh, MG, where were you last night? We had like the most amazing thing happen last night. She says it's awkward, but Malcolm says it's cool. Because while Olive and Adam was doing their little devil's tango, so were Malcolm and Holden. And now they're a couple, and they're really cute, and they go tell her all the details of that, and how the best friend thinks it's awkward, and Malcolm, like, no, it's the coolest thing that ever happened to me, and I love him so much, and and both of them, like, I think it's funny, later on, we both know our best friends are 12, they're secretly 12, and like, good, then they're well matched. Adam invites her to dinner after 4:30, after all his meetings are over, and he goes, hey, if you want to come see me, I can show you around the campus, Tom's lab, whatever you want. No pressure, but I'm offering this if you want to take me up on it. So she comes by, and they both are so cute, and I'm like, hi, and all of a sudden he's like, I don't know who said those things to you yesterday, but I think you should support them. And she goes, no, I'm not going to support them. I think it will do more harm than good. Not knowing she means him. Because as she has learned, Adam wants to work with Tom more and wants to move to Harvard and be near his parents. And everything that he wants towards his life is all going to be in Boston. And if she supports Tom, she thinks it'll ruin Mom's life. So she just decides to forget about it. And he's like pushing on her, like, I think you should support this person, like they did terrible things to you. And she's like, no, please just drop it. I'm not going to report them. But it's only because she thinks it would ruin Adam's life. Is my interpretation of it. The deadline is today, and that we successfully did everything we set out to do. So let's just be done with it. And he didn't understand. He's like, why? He still is like not mad at all. He's just like, okay, whatever you want, whatever you need. But he's just so confused here. But still, Adam being Adam, he's just like, okay, whatever you need. And if you need anything, I mean anything, ever, I want you to call me. And I'm just like, little kiss where she first starts her going her tiptoes to kiss him on the cheek, and then they slowly agree to like do more, and he pushes her against the wall, and they have this really passionate kiss, and then Adam pulls away first, and then she leaves. And it feels like falling off a cliff. And I would imagine it be so, because why wouldn't you? Because that's the quote, like, she loved him so much that she let him go. Ever, I want you to call me. And I'm just like, how can we do this? I know she's doing it to she didn't tell him again that the reason she broke up with him because they can't move together to Boston because of Tom. Because he just don't know that Tom's the one who said those things. That's why she can't move there now. And it's like, it all would have been perfect if it wasn't for Tom. It's actually really cute. And there was a quote in these three chapters that really hit me. And I'd like to share it with you. Because I thought it really embodied the way that Olive feels at the moment and how she wants us to feel. Because that's the best thing about telling a story, is to get people to feel how you want them to feel. And it goes like this. Because I started to wonder, is if this is what being in love is, being okay to ripping yourself to shreds so the other person can stay whole. It just, I listen to audiobooks a lot, so I like certain things, like, I guess this is the way they read it or what, but always like certain things just hit me, and that was like that stuck with me. I'm like, I love that. And I love that because it's so much empowered. It so embodies her feelings at the time that she is in love with Adam, but that's part of falling in love with people. You have to let them go, and she did. She didn't tell him those things to make him better off in the end, or at least what she thought so, and to let him go. And I was just like heartbroken after these 3 chapters of them finally getting together and then fully falling apart. So now I'm going to come off to read chapters 19 through 22 while I slowly piece myself back together.